This story comes from Genesis chapter 12, and this is the first story in the Bible which is based on historical fact. These things actually happened. The first 11 chapters of the Bible are stories based on myth and legend, which God used to teach people about spiritual things. The date of these first historical events is thought to be about 2,000 years before Jesus was born. We're going to have stories about 3 men who are called the patriarchs. Patriarch is a name for the male head of a family or tribe. Today's story is about the first of the patriarchs, and his name was Abram. He lived with his father, Terah, his wife, Sarai, his brother, Nahor, and his nephew, Lot, who was the son of another of Abram's brothers who had died. Abram was a descendant of Shem, the eldest son of Noah. Abram's family lived in tents and had large flocks of sheep and goats. When our story starts, they were living near a city called At the time of our story, Abram and his whole family were starting on a long journey to an area called Canaan. They couldn't go straight to Canaan because of the large desert area which they couldn't cross. So they travelled north and came to a city called Haran and settled there for quite a long time. While they were there, Abram's father, Terah, died. One day, Abram had a most incredible experience. The Lord God spoke to him and said, "Get out of your country, from your kindred, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great." So straight away, Abram and his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot began the long journey. Abram's brother Nahor decided to stay in Haran. Finally, they came to a place called Shechem. The Lord appeared to him there and said, "To your descendants I will give this land." And Abram built an altar to the Lord there to give thanks for a safe journey. Then, after a while, he moved on again to a place called Bethel and pitched his tent there, and again built an altar to the Lord. Then he travelled further south again, but there was a famine, which means the crops had failed and there was little food in the land, so he travelled on into Egypt. There he grew very rich in livestock and silver and gold. But after a while, he had a disagreement with the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and he left and returned to Bethel, where he had built an altar to the Lord. His nephew Lot was with him all this time, and he also had a lot of sheep, goats, donkeys. And there were arguments between Abram's shepherds and Lot's shepherds about who came first when watering the flocks. Abram didn't want any strife between himself and Lot, so he suggested they separate. They went to a high place to look over the land, and Abram said to Lot, "If you go to the left, I will go to the right. But if you go to the right, I will go to the left." Lot looked and saw that the land to the right was good for pasture and water, so he chose to go there. Abram was left with the more mountainous and difficult land to the left. After this, the Lord said to Abram, "Lift your eyes now and look around you, north, south, east, and west. All the land which you see I will give to you and your descendants forever." Then Abram moved his tent to Hebron and built an altar there to the Lord. Abram became devoted to the inner call from the Lord, obeying each instruction and always acknowledging the Lord's goodness by building an altar to give thanks.